Streaming cyberspace into your place, sanctioned by the Bootleg Racing League from New Smyrna Speedway. It's Doubleheader Saturday on the Virtual Grip Network. First up, 8th round coverage of the Outlaw SK Modified Invitational Series Season 36. For the 34th time, the BRL brings the modifies to New Smyrna Speedway. Points leader Todd Liston has won here twice before. Much further down the ladder in 13th sits Jeffrey Harden, but with a New Smyrna win on his resume, he's hoping his history here will help him crack into the top 10. But when it comes to this place, nobody has raced here more than old-time Donnie Moore. This will be his 32nd start, and his 5 wins here leads all active drivers. Double Deuce Bruce Pearson sits between Liston and Moore in the standings. It's Pearson's 11th start at New Smyrna. He's yet to win here, but he does have a win earlier this season at Hickory and has yet to finish worse than 7th on the season. Coming off a win last round, can Liston make it 2 in a row? To find out, pull the lever on the Lazy Boy and settle in for the simulated short track racing action about to stream your way. A warm Sunshine State hello and welcome on this Saturday night, August 17th, 2024. It's Zach Shaggy Chapman joining yours truly, Bill Soups on hi from the VTN broadcast booth to bring you our Words Eye View. As always, we play Ryan Senator, turn the knobs and pushing the sliders. Okay, Zach, what can you tell us about this place?
Well, right now, riding on board with Todd Liston. He's coming down the backstretch, heading off into turn 3. He's going to shoot off. It's 23 degrees of banking, so you can really carry some speed. But see, you want to float up to the exit here. Is only 7 degrees of banking on the straightaway, so going to be really hard to complete a pass on the bottom here, Soup, tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if you see, maybe a pass for the end here as the tires wear out, but a pass on the high side. It's going to be an interesting race.
You know, Florida is the flattest state in the nation. It's surprising that this place has so much banking here, considering the levelness of the state they are racing in. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the points. With Scott Negus making his season debut at Myrtle Beach, the number of drivers who have raced at least once this season climbs to 26, with 9 having raced in each of the previous 7 events. Todd Liston has wins in the very first race this season and the most recent race. An 11th at Myrtle Beach for Donnie Moore allowed Bruce Pearson to leapfrog him in the points. Myrtle Beach saw John Wilson earn his 2nd podium of the season. But at 21 back with 4 to go and names like Liston, Pearson, and Moore between him and the points lead, the Goose might be cooked championship-wise, caveat, in this series. Other than the win at Thompson, a 4th last time out was Kurt Smith's best result this season. A no-show at Myrtle Beach hurt Steven Spee's chances for the crown, and he's not here again today. You know, what's going on right now for old Sulphur and Fire? He's on a 3-race win streak, and he doesn't want that to end, so he figures that'll continue as long as he doesn't show up. Things are starting to chap for the Lipper. Chris Haslip, well, his last 2 results have been a pair of 15ths. And the Hilberts each move up a spot, with Steve leading Tom by 2 points. Falling out of the top 10 after round 2, welcome back, Joe Segal, as he climbs his way back into it here with just 4 to go. Well, all the business out of the way, again, we'd like to thank our sponsor for this race, which is, of course, the viewers. We appreciate their generosity, and the crew of VGN and the local pizzerias thank them as well.
And, Soup, talking about Steven, it's been a little busy the past 2 weeks, but you know what they say, Soup. Happy wife, happy life. So he's doing what he's got to do here.
My dad told me there's 4 things that'll hurt a sim racing career. You can have any 2 of them. If you have more than 2, you're in trouble. A job, school, a wife, or a mortgage. So I think Steven's probably got all of those. So definitely hurts his, well, maybe the school part, but definitely he's struggling there a little bit. As the flag man is waving the checker flag, practice is over. That allows us to call the grid for you. We have a healthy field of 15 here tonight, and I have a pick for the win. I usually don't do this, but I got a guy that I think is going to win this one tonight. Let's talk about the front row. These guys weren't too fast in qualifying, but they're sitting up front right now based on their last race performance. Remember, we regrid the top 15 in inverse order. That's going to be Chris Hazlip and Joe Segala on the front row. Shaggy?
Inside of run number 2, the 71, the Professor John Hine, and to his outside in the 26, Donnie Moore.
In 5th, it is the younger of the Hilbert brothers, Tom, and my pick to win tonight. I don't often do that, but watch out for Trey Bloom. He was really fast in practice, sitting on the outside of row 3. Doesn't have a lot of guys to go around. Once he gets there, we'll see if the caveman can hold it.
Inside of row number 4, we've got Big Hilbert, Steve Hilbert, the big brother to Tom, starting right behind him. And to his outside, we've got Double Deuce, Bruce Pearson.
If Lowell Jewell can go 75 laps tonight, he will hit a milestone in sim racing here in the Bootleg Racing League. He's going to be starting in 9th position. Kurt Smith, he'll be starting outside of him.
John Wilson in the 75 rolls off on the inside of row number 6, and to his outside in the 36 machine, a guy we got to keep an eye out on for hard charger here, Jeffrey Harden.
Points leader starting in the Baker's Dozen spot. He's got a long way to go. 100 laps to get there, though, for Todd Liston. Adam Shane, notorious for working his way through the field, will be starting at 14th. And that leaves the last driver back there, car number 13, Bobby Hayes. 15 cars here tonight, which means one of these drivers is guaranteed to start on the pole.
Yeah, you definitely don't want any misfortune, Soup, but if this isn't your track, you're definitely not going to work too hard if you're involved in an incident early.
All right, let's see what happens up front as the perfectly mesmerizing Josie Kirkland pulls the pace car in. Check it out, gets one holler, hide a hole. A great jump out in front for Chris Haslip as he is long gone. Now, John Hine, watch out for him. He's working on the inside of row 2. He's got to the inside of Joe Segala. Segala tries to pull up with some momentum off of corner number 2, but he can't get it done. John Hine now gets a great drive off of 4, has visions of Segala, and maybe getting into Haslip as well. Segala has nowhere to go on the outside. They are side by side behind him. Getting a little bit loose as Haslip up in front. Watch out for John Hine. This is an exciting round, and we got a yellow flag, and it involves Lowell Jewell. I think Steve Hilbert gets loose in front of the boss man. Lowell Jewell then has to check up, which catches John Wilson by surprise. Wilson gets into the back of Jewell. Your points leader, Todd Liston, gets undercut as he gets behind the number 13, gets into his rear. I don't know how damaged these cars are, but there were a lot of them.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better myself there, Soup. That was a great breakdown, and you just see what happens when one car breaks loose there in the middle of the pack, and an early lap when they're all bunched together. It's just a product of chaos.
And I think all the drivers I mentioned were all inside road drivers for the most part, so it's going to be good news for the guys who were forced to start in even positions. John Hine was really aggressive up front early on as he was trying for that spot.
Yeah, now, he gets to return a little bit of that favor here, Soup. He gets to play the high side, doesn't have to beat up his tires as much. And now if Joe wants to take over P2, he's going to have to run that bottom real hard.
Well, you mentioned Joe Segala. Let's go ahead and dial him up. If we have time to talk to Joe, I think we do, as the lights are still on the pace car. Joe Segala, it's Soup up here. You got a copy.
Got you loud and clear. How's it going?
Okay, this is going to be interesting. You start on the outside of row 1, and John Hine got underneath you and was fighting you. Well, now you get to start in that position. You think you can get under the 71 there and give him the same treatment he gave you?
I think so. We'll see how it goes. The most important thing, though, I gotta try and be careful not to make a mistake. John and I, we've had some tingles here in recent weeks, and I don't want him thinking that I dislike him or anything. So I gotta be careful.
Got it. All right, they're doubling up. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Boy, you can hear the cautiousness in the voice there of Joe Segala. Shaggy, you don't want to get on the wrong side of the race officials here in the Bootleg Racing League, do you?
No, definitely not. I mean, this is a good, friendly group of guys. Nobody wants to be that guy. They want to race hard, race clean, and while the pace car is heading off, let's see what they do.
All right, we're going to be working lap number 7 here. Another good jump for the Lipper. John Hine is going to easily tuck down into the second position, and now he gets a little bit of hokey-doke, a dipsy-do. A hucklebuck for John Hine. He does the up and under, and he goes from second to first, and he brings along Joe Segala.
Yeah, it just takes the air off him, gives him a little kiss there coming out of 2. No harm, no foul. That's what he had to do, save the tires, got it done quick. Now the professor's out front.
Donnie Moore with a run off of 2. He gets underneath the 81 of Segala. Moore, the veteran. Nobody has raced here more. No active driver has won here more than old-time Donnie Moore. He dives it in deep to corner number 1. He is side by side with Segala, but the momentum on the top side. The 81 keeps it off the wall. He has an advantage now. I'll spot for you. Clear, Joe.
Yeah, it's going to be so hard to get that pass done on the bottom. You're really going to have to drive it in deep, and you're going to have to make the guy up top feel a little uncomfortable. Maybe rub him a little bit, make him climb up the hill. You can't let him hold you down in the middle off, or else you're just not going to get the run off the corner.
That dark blue car you're looking at right now is Adam Shane. What does he do? Quietly move his way from the back of the pack. What is he doing today? Up 7 positions. Started in the back, well far in the back, and he's really moved himself up.
Yeah, benefit of starting there on the high side, getting around that early caution, and he's made quick work of the guys in front of him, but Soup, they're battling hard behind him. Trey Bloom, Kurt Smith, door to door.
Trey Bloom, my pick to win this one. He has been so close. Working on the outside of Smith right now. The inside line seems to be the preferred line. Bloom making Smith work for it. Bloom started in 6th position. He's fallen back 3. I was expecting more of him. Now stuck on the outside. The freight train is coming. There goes the number 36 of Jeffrey Harden.
Yeah, I mean, Kurt did exactly what I said there. You know, pinched him up there towards the outside wall. Made him get uncomfortable. Definitely left him a lane. Didn't put him in the wall, but Trey decided, hey, I'm going to get on the brakes. And, well, he's lost 2 spots since, looking at 3.
We hope you took your Dramamine because we're jumping you around right now. We're looking at Bruce Pearson now, working on the inside of the younger of the Hilbert brothers. That is Tom. Pearson gets that done, and he's bringing along the man who is coming, the Navy Blue 79 of Adam Shane.
Yeah, Tom may be realizing, hey, I got some hungry cars behind me. Maybe I'm not going to race him too hard, but as soon as I say that, he drives in there deep on exit, tries to beat Kurt off the corner. So he's not giving up any spots now, that's for sure. Just needs to get back into a rhythm in that 61.
The front 4 has pretty much settled down. We're looking where the action is. There's your points leader, Todd Liston, working underneath. That is Jeffrey Harden. Both these guys know how to win. It's always hard to identify the Harden driver because you never know what he's racing. His paint schemes change so often. The Canadian Goose in the popcorn position looking on. Adam Shane, our charger of 8 positions, doing what he does. We started tonight with 15 drivers. We've only lost the Chief, Steve Hilbert. He has 4 laps down. Let's do a quick look. The Chief is still out there turning laps in 15th position. Chief, if you don't fall back another spot, you'll be starting on the pole next week. And as I say that, he's coming into pit lane. Here's the good news, though, for you. There's only 15 drivers here. You have no farther to drop, baby.
Yeah, don't challenge him. I'm sure he could figure out a way to not be able to. So maybe he's just going to park it here and take it easy, start on the pole next week.
Not much action going on for your leader, John Hine, but let's look at this. Here he comes. He started. This is the number 22 of Bruce Pearson that is looking on. That is Chris Hazlick, who is making a move on the inside of Donnie Moore.
Yeah,
that didn't work.
He tried to make that move and compromise his entry into 1 and 2, and now he's got a mirror full of the double deuce here as Bruce Pearson, he's got dreams of taking over P4.
They are. Pearson, Shane, and Smith all looking to pick up that spot on Chris Haslip.
And this is where, out front, you feel real good, too, if you're the 71 of John Hine, but at the same time, Soup, you know as well as I do, you're kind of in no man's land. Are you running too hard right now? Are you saving enough tires? You got to think you're probably going to have one caution, so you can't just plan on getting out to a big lead here and hoping it stays. You got to race for the last 20 laps. Got to make sure you got a car.
That's John Wilson working underneath Tom Hilbert up there. Wanted to follow Wilson through as the 36 of Jeffrey Harden. Oh, we got a spinner. We got it on camera. Was that the 32? That was Trey Bloom, the man I thought had a chance to win this one.
Still no caution, guys.
He's going to back it up. Careful. Now he gets it going straight. He gets going, and they roll around. Nothing lost except a lap for the caveman.
Yeah, tough break for him is now, you just got to go into nurse mode. You got to make sure you're the first car lap down, which he is. And you got to pray to the racing god you get a quick caution here.
Quick caution indeed. Something we have not seen yet is a caution either slow or we've had one caution so far. I apologize. We did have one.
Soup, I honestly forgot about that caution too. Happened so early, and these guys have done such a great job since.
It did.
That caution totally slipped my mind. That'll definitely heating up though.
Right on board with Bruce Pearson. All right, I'd like to take this opportunity, if the drivers will allow, for us to focus our attention on Jeffrey Harden in car number 36. Right now, Jeffrey's lovely wife, Brandy, is holding on to the string that releases the nets from the balloon from the nets. It's about to rain champagne, confetti in the Harden household as he crosses the line right now. If he can complete this lap, this will be Jeffrey Harden's 10,000th career lap in a SK Modified. Congratulations, Jeffrey. Well deserved. 13 other drivers have done that before you. So much history in the Bootleg Racing League, and I would like to thank the stat boys who are responsible for giving me the stats that I can sort through every week to come up with those milestones for you, because they are important. John Hine led a handful of laps last week, but he didn't get the win. Since coming back into the series, leaving the broadcast booth and going back to racing, he has been darn successful. He's looking, well, not to go wire to wires. Chris Haslip, the Lipper, led 6 laps, but pretty much this has been all John Hine's race.
Yeah, but since I talked about him, I want to say 10, 12 laps ago, Pack's really run him down, so he's either conserved his pace a little bit or he maybe spent a little too much early on, because that gap is not what it used to be, and it's not just the guy in second place catching him, Soup. It's the whole lead pack. They are coming.
Joe Segala was the second slowest practice driver. That doesn't seem to be affecting him right now. The 81 is just hitting his numbers. Donnie Moore gets a little bit loose in front of the 93 of Chris Haslip. Haslip now under attack from Bruce Pearson, and there is Adam Shane in that dark navy blue number 79. That's where your action is. Moore, Haslip, Pearson, and Shane. Shane's going to try to make the top side work.
Yeah, and I think, like I said earlier in the breakdown, I think we're going to see some passes on the outside, and here Adam's the first one to hang it out there and try it. And I think it's going to work here. Bruce is just, the longer we go, the tighter the car is going to get. You're going to have to lift out on exit. There you see it. I mean, Adam just big run out of the corner.
Kurt Smith in an interesting situation. This is like being at the bank and trying to figure out which teller is going to be the fastest. And I think Kurt Smith may want to see if, as Adam Shane did make the topside work, Kurt Smith says, I don't think I can do that, Adam. He's going to stay back there on the inside line. Let's watch Adam Shane now as he's working on the back of our pole sitter, Chris Haslip, the Lipper, racing in 4th position. Don't know how fast he is as he's behind Donnie Moore, who seems to be going just fast enough right now. Hines, Segala, Moore, Haslip, Shane, Pearson, Smith, Wilson, Liston, Harden, your top 10.
Shane to the outside again here, looking on the outside of Hazlett.
It worked once. It did not work that time, and now Bruce Pearson says, all right, I'm going to try to get underneath you. And Adam Shane says, all right, I got to do this again. He is not only on the outside, he's stuck out there now. There is no room for him to come back down. What a great run off of 2, though, from the 79. Man, that is good. And he got such a good run, he's going to dive it in deep. Oh, gets almost into the back of the 93 of Chris Haslip. Woo, my goodness, on him, tighter than a new pair of shoes on a rainy day, is Adam Shane on Chris Haslip.
Yeah, that's where you're hoping Haslip has the mirror turned on. You're just trying to rattle his cage a little bit, let him know you're there, try to make him feel uncomfortable, because Adam, I mean, clearly he's got a quick race car, but he's got to get around 3 more guys before he can go leader hunt. So got to go to work here, almost at the halfway point.
Unfortunately, every time he makes an attempt on the 93, if it doesn't work, the double deuce Bruce Pearson is right there. Pearson almost gets into him. He gets loose in front of Smith. Smith gets on the binders, or at least gets off the throttle. They don't get together. That brings John Wilson in. Wilson now looking underneath Smith. Passing is at a premium here.
Yeah, you're really hoping as the laps wear on that the guy who just overdrives in front of you and either gets in the outside wall or has to lift from getting in the outside wall, and then you want to counter underneath and just throw almost like a dirt style slide job, Soup. Just go up there and park in front of the guy, because the longer you waste on the bottom, you're just beating up those tires. But Chris Haslip, here he goes. He's looking for that final podium spot.
Don't know, and he gets into Donnie Moore and he spins off onto the grass. Is it going to bring out the yellow? No!
And Flagman, he doesn't he's not worried about overtime this week, Soup. He wants this thing to get done quick.
Flagman has dinner reservations that he wants to get to. That is the second spinner that has not brought out the yellow. Let's look at second position right now. The man has 6 perfect bowling games to his credit. We're talking about Joe Segala. Right now, the only pin he's trying to knock over is the 71.
If he
Those
just,
go ahead.
He doesn't have the knowledge we have right now, Soup, of seeing the pass on the outside work, but if he can just stick that nose to the outside of the 71, he's clearly got the speed, been able to run him down. And John, there you see pushing off a 4, 81 with a big run.
Nowhere to go for Segala. We've told you the story of Adam Shane, and he's in 4th position right now. He's got Donnie Moore. Shane in the uniquely flavored blueberry machine up there trying to get underneath the ASPCA special of Donnie Moore.
Something I love more than a good blueberry craft soda. Pure
that's
deliciousness.
it. Well, I'll tell you, Shane is a cool customer, and that's what he needs. He needs that color of a car. He needs a cool colored car on his number 79 there. Pearson has been following Shane, Smith, Wilson back there as well. Your points leader, Todd Liston, just laboring in 8th place. The guys who are chasing Liston in the points, Moore and Pearson. Well, Pearson races in 5th, Moore in 3rd.
Yeah, and you know, you got to think, I know this is virtual here as we have a battle for P3, but man, the guys, they've done almost 50 laps here. Green flag stamina's got to be an issue.
All right, so Shane, who's been notorious about doing it on the outside, has now got to the inside of Donnie Moore. They bump, they bang, Shane spins. This will bring out the yellow. He collects. Who is that who went over on his lid? That's Kurt Smith.
I believe Trey Bloom may be even involved in this, so he won't be eligible for that lucky dog. Yes, he's involved in this bid. That's a tough break.
Look on this one. Donnie Moore is going to skate away as he so often does, but the cars behind him. Smith, Wilson. And Smith lost, his car looks more like a toboggan when I looked at it in pit lane. It had no front wheels on either side.
Once again, well, the drivers, they don't know, but John Hine, if he had our knowledge, boy, he'd start licking his lips. Some of the fastest guys coming through the field just got wiped out in that one, too.
Indeed. Shane was coming. Well, you know, Adam had done it on the outside, and Donnie Moore wasn't giving him the outside line, so he had to go underneath. They get together, and Moore, the veteran, was able to keep his car pointing in the right direction. Not the case for Shane.
No, and, you know, hats off to Shane there, because let's be honest, anybody who's been in one of these cars, he could have went up there and used him up and not spun himself out. But after he got into him, did the right thing, got the car off of him, and made sure, you know, it stinks for everybody behind him, but made sure he didn't take out the guy he was trying to get around. And to me, that means something.
I'd like to dial up the number 22 of Bruce Pearson if we could. Bruce, you were right in the mix to that, and it seems like every car around you got involved in it. You seem to skate through.
I kind of saw the spin happen. I just tried to stay high. Fortunately, I was lucky. Just avoided it.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the passing of what Adam Shane was doing to you there. He was working the outside. Do you think the outside line can, well, obviously you know it can work. You saw him do it. Did something you might want to try?
Yeah, it will work. I've been practicing it all week. It's just you have to be close enough so that when you go into the corner, you're side by side. If not, you really shouldn't try it.
All right, we'll keep an eye on you. Good luck.
Thanks, Sue.
And viewers, I did it again. Go ahead, take a sip, take a swig, take a gulp. I forgot to turn over part of the interview over to Shaggy.
Oh, no problem. But yeah, you know, one thing he didn't mention there, and when you're that guy on the outside, Soup, you got to make sure you're not used up. You know, I mean, Adam didn't mean to go in there and get into Donnie Moore, but you're that car on the outside. You're subject to the guy on the inside of you, so you're at their will. You gotta hope they behave.
Well, with Adam Shane out of the picture, our attention goes for other big movers. How about Todd Liston, your points leader, up 8 spots? Bobby Hayes, up 8. Did Bobby Hayes start in last place? I believe he did, and look what he's done.
Yes, he did. Lucky number 13 started P15.
All right, we're going to have our second restart, our third start, and John Hine gets a good jump right now. All right, this is going to be interesting. This is Donnie Moore against Joe Segala. Moore on the inside. It looks like Moore is comfortably going to get that done. There is your points leader. Todd Liston now racing in 4th position, has visions of going underneath Segala. Segala says right now. We talked about what Todd Liston could do on the top side. Well, we talked about Pearson could do on the top side as he battles with Liston right now to try to get that done. Pearson doing his very best. I think the interview may have inspired him a little bit to try to make the top side work. Getting a little bit loose farther back is Lowell Jewell. Keep that car going. Lowell Jewell had issues early, but he's back out the race and on the lead lap in 8th position.
And right there around mid-pack, you know, just save your stuff. If the leader's getting any scuffles here, you're right there. Come another restart. Lowell's got himself in a good position here to look at a top 5 here.
Looking at the racing going on a little bit behind you. Up front, you can see it. Well, John Hine, being chased by Joe Segala is one thing. Being chased by the man who nobody has raced here more than Donnie Moore is another. But as my dad always said, Shaggy, passing the leader is like trying to milk a rooster. The hard part starts after you catch it. Donnie Moore, looking for a little rooster milk.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I mean, catching's one thing, passing is another here as he keeps looking in for that diamond line in the middle of 3 and 4. You see he's entering higher than John, well, even at 1 and 2, but now he's looking for a run on the outside. If he can get a good run here coming out of 4, I think that's where he's going to try to make the move going into 1.
How do you win a championship? Well, if you're Todd Liston, you win it by putting in steady performance after steady performance. Things have been a little rough for him of late, but right now he's in 4th position coming way up. Segala getting a little bit loose, using all of the racetrack, and that's going to open the door for Liston. Liston sees the underneath as a possibility. He gets his front wheels underneath Segala's rear wheels, but he has to back out of it. And that's another way you win a championship, is not forcing the issue.
No, you're exactly right. He goes in there and he basically throws a bluff, like in poker. He says, I'm going to drive in here, and just wants Joe to get a little scared, mess up the corner, but he does the right thing, gets on the binders, keeps it on the bottom, and, well, if he wants P3, he's going to have to get it another way.
Let's go ahead and look at the 13. He's had a great run. He's about to lose a position. We apologize for this, as Jeffrey Harden is going underneath Bobby Hayes right now, but Hayes was having a nice run through the field. He's going to lose 1, maybe 2 positions. Sorry about that, Bob. You've had a great run, and we decided to put the camera on you when you're falling in the wrong direction.
And like you said, now Lowell looking to take over P7 here. I talked about, he just flirting around, saving his stuff. There he is, P7. One hiccup with the guys in front of him, and that man's right there in the picture. So we'll have to see what that 2 can do.
Indeed. Been a very interesting race right now, and John Hine has had it all his way, but he's not done yet. He's still got 28 laps to bring this thing home. Moore and Segala behind him. Liston, Pearson in 5th. Your front 5 has separated themselves from the rest of the field. Harden, Jewell, Hayes, Haslip, the next batch. Tip of the hat to Trey Bloom, racing in 10th position, 2 laps down, but still out there doing the work.
Yeah, he was the one, he was only a lap down there, but when he got on the brakes there and spun out to avoid that last caution, the pace car got by him, so not only did he miss out on the lucky dog, but lost another lap. That's a tough thing to track, because a caution is out.
Oh. Hilbert and Wilson getting involved in this one. That would be Tom. It looks like Hilbert might have just got a little bit, well.
If you see, John gives him a little bump at the end of the backstretch. I think that's truly, Soup, I think that's a misunderstanding. You see Tom kind of lift. I think it's a case of he's trying to let John by, and maybe just some miscommunication, and John was going to try to take the high side. I definitely don't think there's anything intentional with that.
Yeah, we always like it, though, when the guy who gets bumped ends up spinning around and coming into the guy who did the bumping. That's always nice. I want to dial up Lowell Jewell. Under yellow, we talked to the boss man. Lowell Jewell, you have a copy?
I got you, buddy.
Well, let me tell you something. You, right now, are working. You have just 2 laps ago completed your 25,000th lap in a modified race car here in the Bootleg Racing League. Quite an accomplishment. Number 2 all time.
Thank you. No wonder I'm tired.
That's it. Well, it's the truck driver in you. How long, when you're driving the truck driver doing that, how long is your stint on a regular haul there during the day?
9.5 hours every day.
Oh my goodness. Is that 9.5 hours home and back, or is that 9.5 hours sleepover, come back the next day?
Home and back.
Home and back. Out and back. That's out and back. So there we go for the trucking terminology. Well, congratulations on the milestone, and we'll see you down the way.
Thank you, sir.
And it is a milestone, not a milestone. Well, it's a mild accomplishment as well. I mean, it's not 50,000. My goodness. What a great race we're having here tonight. It's all John Hine. John Hine's got to be saying, what do I got to do? Oh, by the way, take another sip, because I've dominated yet, I think, my 3rd interview here tonight. Holy moly. We hope you're drinking a non-alcoholic beverage. VGN recommends you drink responsibly. John Hine has got to be saying, what I got to do to get an interview, right, Shaggy? He's been leading for 72 laps.
I bet you he doesn't want one, Soup, as much as we'd love to pull him up here, which I wouldn't mind picking his brain maybe under the next caution. But right now, he's probably just cool, calm, and collected. Wants to do this restart a little different than he did the last one. Keep the guy on the outside guessing and hopefully provoke a battle here between Donnie Moore and Joe Sagawa.
Under yellow on lap number 80.
We might do a little disco here.
John Hine on the inside. I believe they are getting the vinyl put on the turntable right now. Start it spinning, baby. If you're thinking about winning, get the near ball and spin and grip the groove. Make your move. And making his move right now is Joe Sagala. He's trying to get that position. That's right. You know what time it is? It's rookie time. John Hine leads the field. He's been doing it the whole way. He's got veteran Donnie Moore behind him. Side by side back there, points leader Todd Liston working on the outside. Joe Sagala, who's been racing up front the whole time, now falls back to fourth.
Yeah, you gotta think 2 restarts ago, Soup, he was in second place. These restarts have been Joe's worst enemy.
Yeah.
Lost a spot each restart. Tough break for the 81.
Well, if moving through the field matters for anything, John Hine started in third and has only had to struggle to pick up 2 positions. Donnie Moore started in fourth. He too has picked up 2 positions. So you would think based on that, they probably have equal tires right now. That's not the case for Todd Liston. He's up 10 spots and looks like the 87 is ready to go racing. In fact, the 87 and Segal and the 81 both look faster than what's going on up front.
No, yeah, I mean, let's be honest, the 71, I mean, he did have to work on the 81 of Joe Sagala early on, but made quick work. Oh, Sagala gets loose. He's in the grass going down the backstretch. Saves it.
In the Florida Alfalfa, did Joe Sagala go, but he keeps the car going straight. Now he almost gets into it with Haslip. They are 2x2. Boy, Lowell Jewell, there is a yellow flag ready to fly back here in this battle for 5th position. Looks like they get that sorted out. So we can turn our attention back up to John Hine, Donnie Moore, and your points leader, Todd Liston. Donnie Moore is chasing Liston in the points.
Caution is out.
And it's
81.
Joe Sagala this time. Got into it. Shaggy, you know what? I think that probably was a case of losing his rhythm. A couple laps ago, he was racing through basically he was on the Florida Keys there, and then he got loose again. And
yeah, the tires were angry. I mean, they were mad, and you can see he drives it in low, gets on the brakes a little hard, probably normal to what he had been doing, but just loses the rear end under braking, and as he tries to catch it, gets a little help from behind, but I mean, hey, what's Bobby supposed to do right there? Nothing he can do.
Okay, I'm getting emails are flooding me in that I do have a partner. I apologize to all the viewers out there. Shaggy, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to let you pick who you'd like to talk to. That way I know. I'm not going to say a thing. You got the whole interview.
All right, let's pull up the 87. Let's bring up Todd Liston here. Hey, Todd, Shaggy up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
10-4, Shaggy.
Hey, man, you know, right now, hard charger, and you're going to be starting here. Well, I guess we'll be inside of 10 to go, so probably a single-file restart, if I believe. But, or no, okay, so double file. That's right, we're staying double file. But what's the plan here? You get a good restart. You think you got anything for the 71?
Yeah, I'll give it a go anywhere I can, but I think that we've about equalized now, so it'll just be what we can do.
Yeah, I mean, if you had your choice right now, I mean, if you could go at John, what do you want right now? Do you want the bottom or the top?
I think the bottom is preferred, but it can get kind of loose down there, especially if you start flirting with that yellow line.
Alrighty, Todd. Like I said, man, hard charger. You've had a good run so far. Keep it up, man. Hopefully, we're talking to you at the end of this thing.
Got to keep in mind that Todd Liston is in the points battle, and he is racing Donnie Moore. Now, the gap between Liston and Moore is more significant than 1.2 right now. Moore needs to do a little bit better than just to finish one position ahead of Liston. If he could get the win, that would be nice. If you get the win with John Hine between him and Liston, that would be even better.
Yeah, and this is where, if Donnie Moore, if he really wants that championship, I mean, Todd just told us how loose the car gets on the bottom. So if you're that 26, if you pinch him down a little bit, make him feel uncomfortable, maybe you make him spin out and go to the back. Not that we want that, but all in all, that's what's going to help Donnie Moore. So we'll have to see what he decides to do here.
My goodness, an incredibly long yellow flag here at New Smyrna. Seems like it went on for a long, long time. All right. John Hine has had many, many starts here from the pole position. He's always done the best of it. Let's see if Donnie Moore, the veteran, has something for him here. Watch the 26. Let's see if he gets going. He waits. He tries to guess it. He goes. A great anticipation there by Hine, and he's way out in front. Now the question is, will Liston get to the inside of Donnie Moore? Moore rolls corner number 2 and blows Liston away. Oh, my goodness. They are bumping and banging to the back. We got a car on its lid. Oh, doing a pirouette is Chris Hayslip. The lipper is upside down and turning. Round, 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 spinning me round like a record, baby.
Yeah, it looked like Bruce got into the wall coming out of 2 and gets a little tap from the 2 of Lowell, Jewel, and wow, Hayslip goes for a ride.
Well, now we are getting into green-white checker territory, I believe. Based on the length of that last, certainly, we're working lap number 95, and that last caution flag had to take at least 4 laps.
Yeah, I think if we won't get a natural green-white checkered here, it's going to be pretty close. But yeah, I think we might get a natural attempt here.
Well, let me ask you a question. A natural one's a little bit different because if there were a caution, I guess, on that lap 99, in theory, we could have then 2 more laps, yes?
Yeah. I mean, as long as they have it set for, I believe they do, for that one green-white checkered attempt, that'll be the case. So these guys should get 2 actual shots at it here. So we're going to see some fireworks fly, I'd imagine, soon.
Let's dial up the 71 to John Hine and talk to him. John, it's Soup in the booth. Do you have an understanding of how the green-white checker works? You want me to explain that to you? You got to figure it out.
Man, I'm just going to stand on it until someone tells me to stop.
Shaggy?
Well, John, you've led this thing basically since lap 6. I mean, what's the plan here? You just got to time the restart a little different, get that big jump. What's the move?
Try to get a good start, keep looking forward, and like I said just a second ago, just stand on it.
All right, John, you got a win coming your way. It's been a while. You need one.
Yeah, I'm having deja vu. I think I was here in Nashville, but at least I don't have speed somewhere behind me. I guess I could be thankful for that.
Let's see if he does get one stolen from you on the last lap. Good luck.
Yep.
For those not familiar, John Hine was in a similar position just a few rounds ago, and Steven Spees, old Fire and Sulfur, got to the inside and roughed him up a bit and stole the win on the very last lap. That was an exciting race.
And you've got to love it, Soup. Like, yes, he laughed, he chuckled it off, but he brought it up. That means he hasn't forgot about it. I mean, race car drivers, they got a memory of an elephant, man. They don't forget anything.
My dad used to say, the tree remembers, the axe forgets. And yeah, right now, John Hine has been the tree too many times for his liking. Okay, let's get down to business. This is lap number 99. This is not a green-white checker. This is just the last 2 laps of the race, so we have room for 1-1. A great jump from Hine. No! Donnie Moore sneaks up. He's got a great run. He's actually maybe leading across the line. Moore on the outside. What has happened to John Hine? He loses it. Oh, it's deja vu all over again for Hine. The yellow comes out. We believe that this is not the end. This is a green-white checker. Oh. I have no words. We're just going to watch him. If I asked to interview John Hine, the director, Ryan Seneker, would not let me have it right now. Oh, luckily for John Hine, he spun behind the building there, and you can't see the fumes coming out of his helmet. Shaggy? Well, he's had restart after restart after restart where he had his own way, and then it didn't work.
I'm trying to go back and diagnose what happened here. I mean, both guys, you can hear him shift, and Donnie, his shift seemed to go much smoother on the exit. Just timed it perfectly and really put John in that uncomfortable position. You know, we heard Todd talk about how loose you can be on the bottom, and John trying to get as much drive off as he can, center off, just taps the 26 and goes around.
Before the race started, I had a prediction for the winner. It was the Canadian cancer researcher, caveman, Trey Bloom. He was 2 laps down at one time, was he not, when we checked in on him? Now he's in 4th.
Oh, wow, unbelievable. And, you know, like I say, he was 2 laps down. So if you remember, he was 1 lap down. He slammed his brakes to avoid that big caution and spun around. So that shows, you know, you get hit with another lap, but he kept his car clean, and now he's in the top 5.
And in fact, I remember right, one of the yellows that happened involved him, and he wasn't able to get his lap back. So, yeah, he's had quite a run. Well, you know, if you're a cancer researcher, you gotta figure you just can't give up. You gotta just keep at it. And that's what he's doing right now.
If you're Todd, you just got the blueprint laid out for you of what you need to do. You need to restart up your life here and to pinch Donnie down and make him feel uncomfortable. And we're going to have a heck of a final 2 laps on our hands.
Again, the caution laps here are incredibly long. As we're going to lap number 104. Finally, we're going to go. This could be one of the longest races in Bootleg Racing League history, as we're going to go to lap, 107 before this thing is done. I guarantee you on the post-race interview, Donnie Moore is going to be stunned about what happened. He is not going to know how he got the lead on that restart after John Hine was so dominant. Okay, here we go. 2 laps to go. The next flag ends it. Great start from the 26. Liston has nothing for him. Good night, nurse, says Donnie Moore. Nobody has raced here more. No active driver has more wins here at New Smyrna than Donnie Moore. He's got 5 to his credit. He'd like to make it an even half dozen. He's just got 4 quarters to go. Liston has nothing for him, but he is going to finish 1 point behind the man who's chasing him. So as far as big picture goes, it's a pretty good night for Liston. Out of 4, nothing between him and the checkered flag but payment. The winner, Donnie Moore.
Big win for Donnie Moore. And how about Todd Liston up 11 spots there, P2. And, well, Joe Segala, tough start there. You know, got shuffled out to the outside, but bringing home that final podium spot.
Segala raced up front the whole night. He was not a fast qualifier, not a fast practicer, but had a great run. Trey Bloom had a nice run as well. Running at your top 5, Jeffrey Harden. What we're going to do is we'll take a short break. We'll come back and run down the entire field, not just the top 5. Then we'll talk to some of the drivers before we put a tiny little lock on the gate, because we're going to come back for another broadcast a little while after that. Don't go far. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network.
This is your chance to get behind the wheel. The opportunity to race just like the pros. From the grassroots levels, where we all got our start, to the most popular race cars on the planet. From the fairgrounds of Nashville to the high banks of Daytona, to tracks that will never be forgotten. Realistic driving, intense competition, all from the comfort of your own home. This is the ultimate motorsports simulation. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to New Smyrna Speedway and VGN's 8th round coverage of the 36th edition of the Bootleg Racing League's Outlaw SK Modified Invitational Series. Well, John Hine, there's a lot of laughing going on in the booth at your expense, but it's only because if we didn't laugh about it, we'd have to cry, as he lets another one slip through his fingers. And Donnie Moore gets a great restart with green-white checker, or actually with 2 to go to get it over Hine, and then brings it home on the green-white checker to get the win. Todd Liston, your points leader, goes from 13th to 2nd. He continues to be very, very strong, closing in on his championship. Joe Segalo raced up front the entire race, and he's going to get a 3rd position. Trey Bloom was as far as 2 laps down, made a great comeback, and he'll settle for 4th. Jeffrey Harden goes from 12th to 5th. I'm going to take 2 more before I turn it over to my partner, Shaggy. Lowell Jewell, a quiet night, hits that milestone of 25,000 laps. He'll get a 6th place finish to go as well with that. And Bruce Pearson, Double Deuce Bruce, goes from 8th, comes home in 7th. Shaggy?
I mean, in there, you see it on your screen, and you heard us talk about it. You watched it happen. The man who dominated most of the race, pick up there on the first green-white checkered attempt. John Hine's going to bring it home 8th. Bobby Hayes, 19th after starting 15th. Pretty good run for him. Tom Hilbert rounding out the top 10. John Wilson, P11. Chris Hazlip's going to bring it home 12th. Kurt Smith, P13. Adam Shane, we saw him make a move there for P2, involved in a big wreck. And, well, good news there, Soup. Going to start 2nd next week, and that's a guy who you're 100% going to have to keep an eye on. Adam Shane brought it home 14th, and Steve Hilbert, he's going to start on the pole next week. He brought it home 15th.
Adam Shane, notorious for racing his way through the field. I don't know if he knows how to race from outside of row 1. Well, he'll have nowhere to go. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and dial up Donnie Moore. All right, when we talk to Donnie Moore, I'm sure he's going to tell you that he had it all in the bag, that restart was a sure thing. He had no worries at all about that one. Donnie, let's go right to that, well, not the last restart, but the one before where you got the best of John Hine.
Yeah, I just looked at the replay there. It looked like he might have had some problems shifting there, and I got a good jump. And then he tried to, looks like he tried to run me a little wide, which he should have. And looks like we touched. He got the worst end of it.
You raced up, you started yourself in 4th position, raced up front for most of the race, stayed out of trouble, just kept it clean. How much did you have left in the car there at the end?
I think I had some. I had plenty. Can't shake Todd, though. Took a big hit last week, so it's tough. I needed this win.
Indeed, we look at the points, and even with the win, because of the scoring package in the Bootleg Racing League, you get the win, but that doesn't get you any more than just beating the guy you're chasing by a point as he comes home 2nd.
Yeah, Mr. Consistency, right?
Consistency it is. All right, well, congratulations on the win. We'll see you in a little while in the late models.
Appreciate it, Soup. Thanks.
Donnie Moore. No active driver has won here more as he picks up his 6th career win here at New Smyrna. All right, you get to talk to our post leader, Shaggy.
Hey, Todd, Shaggy up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
10-4.
Well, all in all, man, you're the points leader. Another good night here, bringing home that middle podium spot. You got to feel good, but did you think maybe you had something for him on that final restart if you just got a little better jump?
Yeah, he caught me sleeping for sure. We were playing a little rev game there, and I went to choke back, and he definitely got me. So good on him. Good win for Donnie. But it's nice to be up here again.
Yeah, and after having to pass over half the field, it feels good getting up here that way. As you really had to work hard tonight, but we saw you working the high side there. Was that kind of like an on-the-whim thing? You just had to do it to go up there to make a pass, or is that something you came in with a game plan to do?
The lines were pretty even. It all kind of depended on how you arched in. When you're on the high side, I think it saved your rears just a little bit because you didn't have to pivot so much and kind of stick the back end out. So it was just where you got the run, though. You could go either way.
Well, great run tonight, Todd. P2, man, that's nothing to shake your head about. Congratulations. Who you want to thank?
I want to thank my wife, Caitlin, who helps me out every Saturday watching the kids and keeping me running, supporting me, my son James. I also want to thank my team, Indy Auto Sport, and Martin Sports, our sponsor over there, and everybody else who makes it happen.
Great run tonight, Todd. Looking to see if you can carry this over into the late models, man. Good luck.
Thank you, Shaggy.
Shaggy, you see what Todd Liston did there in the interview? I want to thank my wife, Caitlin. These guys are learning to mention their wife's name when they thank them. That was real. Todd, congratulations. I'm going to see if the scorers can give you a bonus point for that one, because that was a well-done interview. With that said, let's go ahead and dial up Joe Segala, the number 81. Joe, you got a copy?
Got you loud and clear.
All right, Joe, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been doing this for a while. I saw you starting up front. I looked at the practice times. You were second slowest, and I go, all right, this is a matter of time before Segala falls. You fell back to fourth. You fought back in. That was a pretty impressive run, I think. You got to be happy with third.
I am. I'm very happy with it. I could have done without the spin there, though, in the middle that sent me to the back. But other than that, yeah, I'm real happy with it.
Was that you took a little drive through the grass?
Yeah, I got loose coming off of 2. In practice, the car was really, really loose coming off the corners, especially 2. And then when the race started, it's like the car handled completely different. Felt like it had 3 times as much grip as it did in practice. So I was pushing it pretty hard. So like that one time that I got loose and went through the grass, it kind of surprised me, and unfortunately I made my tires mad, and they weren't happy until the car spun completely out.
You know what? We actually talked about that afterwards. We said, that's probably a case of Segala not having the car underneath him even after he saved it. When we think about the run that you had, a pretty amazing run to get back up to third, considering what the trouble that you ran into.
Yeah, I was surprised myself when that third caution came out, which Hazelup's car flipping over scared the crap out of me. I almost T-boned him in the driver door. But, I get through all that, and everyone slows down, and I realize I'm in third place again, and I'm like, well, this is a lot of work to come back to where I started.
There you go. Well, it was fun to watch you race. You had a good performance. Well done. Glad to see you get a podium. And better yet, we get to talk to you when you finish in the top 3. So well done, man.
Thank you.
Joe Segala, your third place finisher here tonight. And that's going to wrap it up for us right now. This is going to be a real quick exit because we've got another race coming up. The director flashes when we're going to be back, and that's going to be in just a few minutes. I think it's going to be like 15 minutes after the hour, so you can figure out when we're going to start for those late model events. Then we'll come back next week, and we're going to be at South Boston Speedway, and contrary to what you might think, that is not in Massachusetts. So with that said, we're going to take a short break. Don't go far. Go to the refrigerator, make yourself a little snack, but don't think about turning on the oven because you don't have time for that. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network. We'll see you in a little while.